let's talk about connection versus networking and how that changes as you advance in your career and your business. So we have been taught that our network is our net worth, right? We have been taught it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? There are so many conversations about who we surround ourselves with over and over and over again, but nobody ever tells us how. Nobody ever says, okay, well, this is actually how we build this network. This is how we build this community. And most of the examples in the world of networking are that of networking for sales. And so what I mean by that is typically, different types of organizations are all about, let's get people in a room together so they can meet one another and they can do business together. To me, that's my definition of networking. We are networking to sell something. There's nothing wrong with that. I taught sales for a very long time. I run a marketing agency. I teach people to talk to people all the time. I networked my face off. That's so much of my success came from networking. But there comes a point as you continue to be more and more successful in your career and you have more and more demands on your time that you have to be more selective in how you spend that time. And let's be honest, most of the people that are going to traditional networking events are people who are in the earlier stages of their career. They don't have their network, right? They're there to build a network. They tend to be beginners, they tend to be earlier on in their journey, or they tend to be the type of people who are always having to keep a pipeline full. And again, I am not criticizing these people or this strategy, it's an important one. What I am speaking to at this point in this particular video is how do we get past that, right? You desire to be surrounded by other smart women. You want to have powerful conversations. You want to have that person you can pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm evaluating a really big purchase. Will you talk through this with me? Or I'm evaluating hiring a new employee. Will you brainstorm this with me? Or I'm putting out a new offer. Can I run this past you and get some feedback, right? So we are no longer networking. We're building a network. We are building a true inner circle. We're building those people who become our friends. They become our referral partners. Maybe they do become our clients, but that's not the goal once you get to a certain point, right? It's not everybody I meet is going to buy something from me. It's everybody I meet is going to open the door to a different opportunity that I did not have before. And that is where we really get past networking and into connection. So how do we do that, right? How do we get past that point? Well, first of all, we need to get ourselves into different rooms, right? We need to stop joining networking organizations and then being frustrated when they're full of people that join networking organizations. I speak from experience. I did this a lot, right? I kept joining things. And I was like, gosh, where are my people? I can't find the people that, there's plenty of people there who are really nice people, but they're not my people. They're not the people that I really build strong relationships with. So we need to stop the traditional way of networking and we need to get into the right rooms. We need to be more intentional with how we find these rooms. And so these might look like things like organizations like Be in the Room. There's a lot of masterminds. There's a lot of events. There's a lot of different ways to connect with other people that don't start at networking conversations. That's kind of my first actionable thing, right? Look for different rooms to be in where networking for sales and referrals is not the primary focus. The second thing I would tell you is to really focus on human-to-human connection. And you're like, wait, what? But really, when we're networking, it's business-to-business connection, right? It's I run this business, you run that business. How do these businesses work together, right? What we're here to do is really to build connections through human-to-human. So get past what we do for a living. It's actually one of the reasons at Be in the Room where we don't spend a lot of time. Hi, my name is, this is what I do, this is who I work with. We naturally have those conversations, but we focus more on who you are as a human, right? What do you do outside of work? Like, who are you as a person? Because to me, that is infinitely more important than what you do for a living. And so when you're out in the world and you're really looking for more meaningful connection, more meaningful conversations, it's really start focusing on, let's get past the what do you do for a living? And it's like, who are you? So I like to ask personal questions. I like to ask people about what they're doing or what they're up to that's fun in their life, right? I like to ask people just different types of questions that aren't like, what do you do? Or what industry you're in? Or how did you get into that? I like to ask people questions like, what are you working on right now that's really exciting? Or what do you do for fun outside of work? Or when was the last time you took a vacation, right? Because when you can get past the what do you do for a living, you start to get into that human-to-human connection. And if you prioritize human-to-human connection, the business-to-business connection has to follow, right? So the third thing that we need to do is we need to look for people with shared values. Right? When we are really looking for that inner circle, one of our strategic advisors in Be in the Room, her name is Nikita Renthigpen. She's brilliant. If you don't follow her, you should. She always talks about her table, right? Like who gets a seat at your table? Because I don't know about you, when I go to a networking organization or networking meeting, not everybody in that room is going to get a seat in my table. The only people that get a seat at my table are people where we share values. Right? But the only way you know if you share values with somebody is to get to know them, right? Exchanging business cards is not going to tell you, do we share values? It's going to tell you what you do for a living. Are we compatible to do business together? I'm looking for people that I'm compatible to do life with, not just business with. And that comes with shared values. And these are your personal values and your business values, right? We really need to know ourselves well to be able to really build these relationships, because if you don't know what your values are, you're going to wind up down a path you don't want to go on. And I promise you, like, I speak from experience. I wound up in a business partnership that was a complete and total values misalignment because I didn't take the time to really identify my values, what was important to me, what I really wanted and needed and desired in the life that I wanted to have. And I just let my ego run the show and looked at the numbers and looked at the opportunity and chased it, and it didn't go well. I promise you, it did not go well. So we're really looking for people that share values both personally and professionally. So when we focus on those things and we focus on really, the whole person and shared values, we're inevitably going to put people at our table that belong at our table, that we value their opinions, that we value their input, that we value their experiences. And then the final thing I will tell you about connection versus networking is to diversify. Diversify. I've spent the last couple of years playing in online entrepreneur land, is what I lovingly like to call it, where everybody's a marketing coach and everybody tells you to niche down. Right? The riches are in the niches, and I call bullshit. Because when you surround yourself with only people who are doing what you do, who only have the experience that you have, you are leaving out a lifetime of experiences, perspectives, ideas, ways of doing businesses that you're never going to get if everybody in the room is doing the same thing. This is actually why business masterminds are kind of losing a little bit of speed, because if you put all agency owners in a room together, sure, we're going to learn how to run agencies, but you get dangerously blindfolded from all different ways of doing business, different perspectives, other ways that people in the world market their businesses and serve their clients and grow their teams and compensate people, right? So when you are really looking for who's that true inner circle, how do I really build those meaningful connections? Look for people in different industries. Look for people in different experiences. Look for people that, maybe doesn't do business the same way you do. Maybe you run the same type of business, but you run a high ticket program and that person runs a membership, right? This person runs a done for you service, and this person teaches people how to do it, right? But the more different perspectives that you can put at your table, the more new ideas, the more creativity, the more innovation that we can do. We cannot innovate if everybody in the room is doing the exact same thing. So how do we really focus on connection over networking? First of all, make sure you're in the right room, right? If you are in a room designed for sales and business, that's what you're going to get. Find a different room, right? Focus on human to human, focus on person to person connection, get past business to business, and then really focus on shared values. You get clear on your values and go share those values with the world, and that's who you're going to attract. And finally, do not be afraid to diversify ideas, perspectives, industries, and experience, because that's where the magic happens. If you are a woman leader who values connection over networking and who is looking for your inner circle, your tribe, your people, that innovative, diverse group of people, follow along, like, subscribe. We are so glad that you're here.